prompt for week 4.
How do you support your partner's goals and dreams, and in what way can you do it more?
What are the 3 things that you admire most about your significant other?
I really love how you show up for other people. I remember you were telling me about this woman who you didn't know very well. You were new in the United States and she had cancer. Like, you just helped take care of her with really getting, very little or nothing in return. It was just, I have the time and this person needs help.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to read a 3rd prompt?
I will. Write down the words you would like to hear from your significant other this week and feel free to share it with them.
Do you want to read a 3rd prompt?
I will. Write down the words you would like to hear from your significant other this week and feel free to share it with them. You don't have to share that with me.
But I want to share.
Okay, then do.
What I want to hear is that we got this. There's so much value for people to get from these journals. And I think we have to really get these journals into the hands of people that are going to benefit from them.
Right.
And so we don't like marketing, but we also like giving to people. And I think if we stop looking at this, it's like as if we are marketing to people, but actually, they're great. Like, they're going to really improve people's relationships. It's like, if we look at it that way, then we feel like we're being of service and we're offering value, and therefore we should do whatever it takes so that those that need them get them. Yep. And I think that's kind of what I want to hear from you, is like, when I'm complaining about like marketing, for you to remind me that this ain't just marketing for the sake of marketing. This is actually giving people something that will really help them. We're helping people, and we're helping people thrive in relationships.
Nice.
So,
okay, you got this. We got this.
We got this.
We got this.
Yeah.
Okay. What I wrote is this week, it's not the words, but delivery. And so last week I just finally finished reading the David Data book I'd been kind of slowly reading over the last few months. The Way of the Superior Man, I believe it's called. And one of the things that he talks about is how, like, your woman is there to, not exclusively, but she's there really to push you to be great. And if you feel like she's beating you down or whatever, you're not taking the lessons right. She's actually there to push you to greatness. And I was kind of holding that, can you do that in a way that, that can bring the critique and the pressure without the criticism? So I was thinking, like, last week there was this issue with a family member's boyfriend kind of called me for advice. It appeared, and it was a little bit, the way he sort of reached out was not necessarily terribly clear, like what he was reaching out for. And you kind of jumped on me about, getting involved or engaged in somebody else's issue. And with that sort of tone of voice, the thing was, for me, it was like, well, I'm going to do what I think is best in this case. This is my phone call. I can do this. But by actually acting in that way, I also felt like I was almost defying you.
Yeah.
Right. And so this tone of voice, I guess, this thing that I'm questioning, or what the words that I would like to hear, is exactly the same words with also where it's actually a support. It's like, here, this is totally what I think, and yet you are totally free to make the choice that you see best, as this is your phone, your life. The phone call came to you, not to me. So,
got that. I will. That has been taken.
We got this.
We got this. I will try to give my critique and my advice in a more compassionate tone of voice, because tone does matter in the way that you deliver.
I think it does.
It does. My grandma, actually learned it from her, was like, someone can say to you the same thing, but the way it's delivered can land different or have very different impact. And so I know that I could have used the same words where you could have been like, yeah, but I used the same words where it was like more like, why are you doing that? Rather than like,
why are you doing that?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Which is interesting because tone of voice was when I realized that tone of voice towards myself was the difference between my happiness and my challenges in life. And as soon as I changed the voice myself, they're like, either like, why did you do that? You know, if you did something dumb, or if I did something dumb, oh, why did I do that? Or why is this happening to me? Instead of be like, why is this happening to me? Or
yeah.
why did I make that choice? Instead of, why did I make that choice? You know, same words, totally different tone of voice. Be gentle on myself, be curious, bring that curiosity instead of the judgment.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting back to it, here we are. Other thoughts and realizations.
I think I've said all my thoughts and realization is just like, I don't have any other thoughts apart from like, this week, I'm so excited. Like, I'm just excited to see that the journals are here. The amount of love and time and money that has taken to get this project to where it is today is like amazing. I'm just so excited about it. Those are my thoughts and realizations for this week.
Where you're excited. That's a very good thought and realization. I'm pretty excited too. In fact, when we first opened up the boxes, it was chilly in here. We hadn't fired up the heater this morning, and I was wearing my hat and everything. And I was so excited. I was taking off clothes because I was just starting to sweat from excitement. I didn't know I sweated from excitement. Is that a thing? I don't know. I did it. It sounds like a dog. Have you ever heard like dogs? Sometimes they get so excited when their master comes home, they like pee on the floor because they're just so excited.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So did you pee?
I'm glad I didn't pee. Fortunately, I did not pee. I was like, oh my God, the journals. Oh, this is awkward.
You should see the face Matthew's making right now if you're listening to this. Awkward.
I've done it before, though. I have to say, when my brother was born, I was 3 3/4 about when my first brother was born, and my cousin was taking care of me, and while my parents were at the hospital, and my dad came to pick me up, and he was talking to my mom's cousin about the birth and everything, and I was so excited that I peed my pants, and I got a spanking. Because the bathroom was right there. I'm not condoning spanking your children, but
you got spanked.
But I got spanked, and I'm going to laugh at that story because sometimes laughter is the best way to deal with having your butt slapped when you're a child. I don't know.
It's kind of funny because I know so many people who are so sad when their siblings were born. So you were excited that you had a little brother?
I was very excited.
Because you were lonely?
I don't think so. I have no idea. I think the excitement is probably pretty universal. At the beginning, I think the disappointment comes after you realize that now that I have a little brother, like mom is putting me second, and that little thing has first dibs on the boob. It has first dibs on attention. I think that's where the excitement, I think, becomes disappointment. I think maybe parents should actually warn their kids, your little brother's coming, and your life is going to be a lot more difficult moving forward. So just so you know that, it's kind of exciting. It's like a pros and cons situation.
You're not going to be that important anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you're still my number one, but there's a number 2 right on your heels. And if you don't behave, you might get yelled at and whatever else. And you might see me being really sweet to your brother while I'm also screaming at you. So just be prepared. I've had no such preparation. But I don't remember being traumatized by my little brother being born. I just remember getting spanked. So my other thoughts was, let's see if I can read this. How do we challenge each other's old and ingrained patterns and be firm enough to break through that while being both loving and honoring each other's freedoms? So that's a little bit based on what I was talking about before in the third prompt is, sometimes it can be also easy, particularly when you have in our case, we have a good relationship. And I've heard it's not uncommon, I think, for good relationships to break up, right? We had a really good relationship, but it didn't last. And I think one of those things can basically be the effort that it takes to protect a good relationship sometimes. If we don't argue, we might want to hold on to that as a badge of pride, or I don't want to rock the boat too much because I love you and I want you to be happy, and I can maybe I can let some things slide because our love is greater than this annoying thing that you do. But if this annoying thing that you do is not necessarily just annoying to me, but it's also perhaps a part of a pattern that isn't serving you, it's also incumbent upon me to also help push you. As I mentioned from the David Data book, of you're there to push me to be a better man, to grow, to increase my resilience, whatever those things are. I'm actually there to do that for you too. I hope that by you being with me, you are a better version of yourself and you continue to grow and become better. I hope so.
I think I am.
And I think the same thing for me. So, but yet in a good relationship, the question is how do you do that? How do you actually bring up the really hard stuff? How do you jump into being able to have a really challenging conversation, to even have a challenging week, month, several months of challenge when you almost feel like, I can avoid that challenge and just stick to the appreciation of, I can stick to the good stuff. And so I don't want to just stick to the good stuff, but I want to find the way that we can really, continue to help each other grow while also honoring each other's freedoms. That's it.
Nice.
So with that, have a fantastic week full of love from us here in Petaluma, California, the Interracial Couple. It's been an honor to spend some time with you, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.